Trying to go crypto investing, and I felt this was a very important update to make this morning as I'm trying to get into work. But I got to get this news out to you. We have insolvency in another exchange, right? I've been warning you about what's going on about liquidity crunches and insolvency. And insolvency means bankruptcy, and they ran out of money, right? This company, what's this company? It was a major exchange. And they got caught up in some bad plays. They were in Luna and then a few other shit plays, and they went insolvent. And this can happen to major exchanges. Like Celsius is on the verge of insolvency, which means you lose all your money, and the exchange goes out belly up, and there to be no more. But this exchange was where's the name? Three Arrow faces possible insolvency after unforeseen liquidation report, right? And you can see, seems to have addressed rumors on Twitter. We are in the process of communicating with relevant parties and is fully committed to working this out, he said, without giving specifics. Tokens listed as investments on this exchange. Three Arrows includes Ethereum, Solana, and Luna. Prices of those are down 77, 90, and 99.7. The 99.7 is the one that's more threatening immediately, because that money essentially went to zero and they're never going to get it back, right? Dubai-based Three Arrows Capital, as you know, a lot of these crypto companies are in Dubai because they're crypto friendly, right? And you can essentially take on a legitimate business there to conduct crypto, or illegitimate business, and things like this start to happen. Dubai-based fund Three Arrows Capital is facing insolvency after incurring at least a $400 million liquidation. $400 million, $500 million liquidation, which means if you had money on that exchange, right, and you own their token, if they got one, most of these exchanges have their own token, like Binance, Bitcoin, all that shit, right? You went down with the ship, and you've lost it all. The block reported Three Arrows, popularly known as 3AC, was liquidated by crypto lender firms and is currently in the process of repaying lenders and other counterparties, according to the report. Right? They're done. It's over for Three Arrows. And if you're on that exchange, you just got beat down and fleece heisted and shisted to an extreme degree imaginable, right? It's about as bad as it could get there. The same thing with Celsius. If the Bitcoin price drops a few $1,000s more below that 18,000, they're going to be facing insolvency too. And that would just be another exchange, a major exchange, that has went down big. And if you were doing business and conducting business, lending them money, you've lost it all, right? And you can see now, if we look at the Bitcoin, or the dollar, had a big rally and a pretty big fall yesterday, about 1.25%. Now it's trading back up, and its major upper resistance is at 105 mark, right? 104, just below 105. If you hit that and get rejected, that could leave some room for the equity markets and the cryptos to maybe come up, right? You can see the stock market's up a little bit. You got 1% there, 0.75% there. See the Dow futures up and down. Ooh. No, they're both up, the Dow futures. Let's see. The Dow futures up 7% for March 2023, but only 0.5% for September, after September's prices by getting beaten down more than 2023 March futures, right? And then the crypto today had a phenomenal rally, right? Bounced off. I wish I would have made a trade last night because it bounced off that lower support we were talking about, and now it's coming up to that white support zone and that green ring, right? See that? We bounced off that 20,200, like we were talking about that double bottom last night, the last time we talked, and now we're coming up against the bottom part of that white support zone, which could be a rejection. But if you can pump up and get through this white support box, you got pretty good room to run up to about 25,000 real quick. So we're going to watch out for that. And that's the major area to watch today. Can we get above this white support zone, right? And then pump up, because that local volume indicator that we put on there for you, that's where, I don't know if it'll show it, right there. Once you break above that, you see all this room? See that? This is all room. If you can get above this major area, that's all room to run there. You can shoot straight back through there until you hit your upper resistance, which would be up here along this red line and this bottom, this big sell candle up there with all the volume. See that? But this is all room to run up in here. If you can break above that white support zone, right? That's why that's there. Shit. And that's a critical area if we're trying to get bullish as the futures market closes. And then maybe, unlike last week, where you had a 20% flush and all this liquidity crunches and insolvency started, maybe you could have a nice pump this weekend if you can get above this white support zone, or you're going to just trade within this area of 19, 20,000 to 22,000 all weekend, right? Or a flush. But that's what you need to watch out for. If you break that 19,676, you got a big flush. But if you break the top part of this white support zone, which will be right about where the 200-day is trending down, right, then you can have a nice pump. So that's what I'm looking at right now in the Bitcoin price. We have insolvencies going across the board into major exchanges. It all needs to be paid attention to, and it all needs to be heeded, as these are warning shots going across the board about major problems within the structural overall crypto sphere, as we've inched over 20,000 coins, and that's far too many. And a lot of these got to go away because they don't even belong to be there, right? So that's what we're watching out for. You can see the old XRP everybody loves, so we'll talk about it. It did bounce off the top part of the last line of defense to the shit house, and it's had a pretty respectable rally, but it's hitting up against the 200-day. So if we want to get bullish, we got to break above that 200-day and make a run at that 37 cents, right? Or we're going to come back down and maybe try a double bottom at 29 cents. But that's your critical area you need to hold, so you don't have a big flush, right? But if you're trying to stay bullish this weekend, get above that 200-day in the hour to 3-hour time frame, and then work your way up towards that 37 cents. Maybe get on the top side of that, and that would be a nice little bullish rally this weekend, right? So we're going to stay on top of this to keep you up to date on everything that's going on in the crypto market. Like, subscribe, and share. Links down below. Support the channel. Trade with Vincenzo with the sites that I use. Support the channel for as little as $2.99 to keep this content free and coming to you, and keeping you out ahead and sidestepping the criminal gangsters and the market manipulators that have infiltrated the United States Federal Reserve, government, and world monetary and banking systems, right, with the criminal banks or gangsters. Peace and love, peace and love.